Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back once again. When you see them, there is only one question in your mind. Why did you watch the video today? Wondering how it is. Then the story begins with a couple who own. There are so many things in life that they are too busy. They have forgotten about it. It is a beautiful island today, which it is far away from the city, and there is no one to go there. Kelly says she should stop for a while so she can do her job, but Amana has to go now because she doesn't like being around people. And the biggest thing is, she doesn't trust anyone quickly. She can't be around people, and she has to talk to people, so they both pack up and leave their beautiful island. Off and then they went on a long journey, and they began. The first part of the story was the name of Da House Clay. I like it more than the two kids. Dogs all the time, and the two of them are happy to see. In fact, they came to such a holiday after a long time, so they should have a good time. But from here, there are some readings in the story that will open themselves after reading them. When he went out to get the goods, he saw a man who was filling his food for a whole year. And when he noticed it, he was surprised that it looked like an apocalypse was coming. Then he took notice, and the two of them said to each other, nothing. Then they came home. So they planned to go to the middle, where they would drink a little. Then they all went out, and they found a lot of people who came to drink like them. Then, the day they noticed that there was an oil ship in the water. Then he said, it's a pretty common thing here because it comes in the Pacific Ocean, and the whole priest sat there and listened. But then, the day came and showed his wax and showed the same ship that was actually coming, and Amanda thought it was an illusion. But after a while, when he got closer and closer, he immediately picked up the click, and when he saw it, he was stunned because that oil ship, weighing millions of tons, was now falling fast towards the beach, which, strangely enough, seemed more terrifying to see this thing than anyone who was there on the beach. They all got up and ran away, so they stood in the middle with a sigh of relief, and when they came out, they asked the guard what the matter was, and he said, this is the third time this day. It may be that there has been a problem in navigation 3 times in a single day, that 2, in the same place, the department should fix things. You did not find anything strange, as many people were all coming to their own house, from which this too. The 2 children started playing in the pool, said that if they did not make any difference, then Clay explains that it can be a small thing that they say the knot. Sometimes it happens when there's more traffic in the ocean. Now it's night. They put the kids down and they get a drink, then they knock at the gate. Mom turns around with a tail. Who came here? Who can come here? Clay picked up the bed and opened the gate. George tells him his daughter was crying with him. Actually, George owns the same house, and he tells him that the city has just blacked out, and he can't go to his house on the 13th floor. Now they're coming back to watch the show. But my daughter Rook has an idea. Why don't we go to our island home that's just staying there and ask them to let us stay there tonight? Now Joach also said he'll accommodate the basement. Now the talk here is one thing. T, on the call from this wool over there. Or then he saw it yesterday now takes this thing pretty normal because these guys seemed right to see. Even George takes $1,000 out of the closet and gives them what was half the rent here. Now Clay realizes that the house belongs to him. He has the key to the closet in which we see George's safety gun. Essie. He agreed and told him to go down. But when Amanda and both of them were alone, he tells him that this man is not feeling well now. As you know, he is not sure about anyone quickly. So Clay says he gets some tea, but if you still think there's something like that, you'll go downstairs and talk to him in a moment. Now they're downstairs again. George offers Clay a drink, which he likes. So he says he's in Morocco right now. He's got an art program. He's going to be back from his flight tomorrow morning. And he's done so much that Amanda's second question comes up. Can she see her IDs? Today, he answered her very well. He fell into his coat. Then he asked more questions, and then he asked, which shows there was an emergency outside the city, whose corn Wi-Fi mobile network is all shut down. That is, it won't work for a little while right now, so I'm a little relaxed by telling the rest that if only the power is blacked out, it will come back soon. So the soul says that it may be something bigger, A chemical war has started, or a word again. You have started. Or a greater Jorge would say to him, shut up. And he would say to both of them, there is no such thing, and everything will be fine until tomorrow morning. Where the same screen show was happening again and again, he told the father that he should remove this family. But George refused because everyone is in trouble right now. Ruth asked if all this would be fine, but he had any. The answer was not, because he himself does not even know that actually. What is happening, or what is going to happen up? Amanda is still being persecuted. Is this really the owner of this house? Because this house, they may have openly said that they hid for their privacy. We saw on TV that the whole city was blacked out, and people were saying that it was a cyber. Honda also pops up on some mobile telling how it could be the work of a hacker, on what really a hacker is so much more powerful that they change everything outside, playing outside, watch some hair every day. And the number of them in the lawn was quite high, which was quite strange. So she tells Amanda Ruth inside the house that there have been some sins in which she says that this could be the work of a hacker. So she says yes, it's possible, because it happened a few years ago in which an email attachment ran out of everything, and there is no such thing. Whoever goes away and gives them comfort says that he is going to a friend who lives there. Maybe he has some knowledge. Whoever helps us is out there. He went to heaven. I saw something strange and couldn't see what it was. This morning he saw a lot of deer on the lawn. He tried to tell his brother Archie. He didn't believe what he was saying. Now the two talking like this went into the woods enough during this time. They found a court there, which when they went inside, they realized maybe someone lives here. But now he is not throwing his sister. He says there must be someone living here watching over their house, and the closest room is the same room. So she is scared of the poor, but then the two of them come out. As we find out yesterday, went out to ask for help. Now he needs help himself. His GPS stops working. He goes astray. At the same time, a lady came to the windshield of his car and witnessed help. Looking at his condition, it looks like what trouble is breaking down on him. The bad thing was that she was speaking in Spanish, which she did not understand, nor did we know that this is a fairly soft-hearted man. And that is why it is not good for him not to help someone like that. But he has no choice but to leave him. So he went ahead and saw something else when he came a long way. And what he saw in the sky a while ago was actually a drone throwing down a pamphlet written in Arabic and made a snake. There's not going to be a US invasion, or there's going to be a US invasion, and they've taken over here. Home. I have water everywhere. It's a long distance from home. He also got the phone. I tried to call, but surprisingly, the sky was clear. And yet, the signal wasn't coming. Then what he saw in the middle was a shocking sight actually. Where the eyes were going, there were only human bodies. And it wasn't actually humans, but passengers. Were crew members, were pilots, because there wasn't one. But not knowing how many planes had crashed. Whose corpses have been piled up here. And whoever looks at the conditions of their corpses will tremble because they were scattered around in separate parts. Now you can imagine how the water came into the house. Some strange things are happening. Coming home, he wants to tell Ruth anything about this. That's why he talked to Amanda, Cher, and said that all these things are happening. Already, Mars. That the field in which he works tells us about the details that the world runs on if someone works in it for a long time. That little thing can tell even the smallest thing by understanding what's going to happen next. When I went to my friend's house, I got a satellite phone, and there was no signal in it. Even though the sky is clear, which is a big deal. But Amanda says it could be that she got hacked, like all the things happened. George doesn't think so because it could be impossible to hack a satellite phone from anyone. Then suddenly a loud sound that was so loud that the glass of the house shattered and someone closed their ears. But today the thing is a little late, and now both the children return frightened. But until then the voice stops, and the mother tells everyone in front of the frightened man that George told her not to tell anyone, because the mother of the soul, that is, his wife, was also coming to the plane. The soul is afraid of thinking, and when it starts to happen, things are going to get out of hand. So someone was more afraid. So George tells him to relax, and he speaks. And we have to ask the man I saw the first day. George knows this man's name is Danny. He had a habit of buying stuff with him. And now it seemed to him that things were going to get very bad. Nobody understands it, but it's understood today because he saw something in an online game that meant the US death now. The whole family gets upset when they hear so much they think there's been an attack on Daesh. So Amanda decides to go to her sister's house in Jersey. But George stops him because there is such a bad situation in the city, and he does not believe and leaves, and his soul begins to think of his mother's death. George said, maybe they're on another plane, so you don't have to think negatively. The other way around, the whole thing was going now, and then they found a bunch of Tesla car jams on the beach highway, some of which have crashed badly, like Tesla autopilot. When he saw that there was no driver, he immediately turned his car around. In the midst of this, we see the view of the road leading to the city, which can be seen how much worse the situation has become. As far as the eyes go, were only cars. These people came back to George's house and now he's going to make some way out. The atmosphere is much more troubled and lonely. Everyone is sitting there showing no one understanding what to do. At night, there is a lot of talk between Amanda and George. The distance between the two of them ends, and now it is believed that this is the case. He speaks with his own mouth. George tells him quite a bit about things like when this stuff was starting to happen before it happened. Some big guys had this stuff and they would have gone somewhere, safely just killed. So the innocent guys are both talking that. Then the voice came again, and they got more about it in the middle. They saw them some flamingos in the pool on fire. Those who have seen enough of it are all shut down, and the people went to sleep that night. The story seems to be down there. He is not going to do it right. 2 things happened in the morning. 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 Which and where advises that they should go to Danny. Maybe he has any of this disease. The drug will be because I feel like it. The worm must have been bitten in the forest. Everyone felt that all 3 of them went to Danny here. Both forests went to the cabin to find the daily. In anger, but later she apologizes to him because it became such a thing as being alone. But now he has decided to change himself. So suddenly he stands up to them with a lot of widows as if they were going to attack them. But Amada loudly starts shouting, which they just fled in fear. And when their lives are saved, they go to Danny's house and ask him for help. He comes out with a gun and says he's not going to help them because everything is over here. They will stay or not. There's no guarantee. Now George felt bad enough the way he talked to her because he's known her for years. He's helped her a lot. And seeing her attitude, he got so angry. He pulled out the gun. Now where was Danilo? He also pulls out the gun, and then Clay comes in and stops them. Danny begs for her daughter's life by putting her hands in front of her and asking for help, or else she'll die and she won't ask for anything. So Danny finally gave her medicine and finally told her that it's all happening because of a biochemical war. Now that's peeled off, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be from Korea or China. It shows the same pamphlet from Cleo that he found on the road. When he saw it, Danny said that something like this was written in Chinese by a friend of his who lives in California. It's just going to trick us because it's all over now, George and he, when both are in the car. So he asks if he will go with her. Now they have to stay together. Then they will be able to keep themselves safe. Then he shakes his head and says yes. Then they both went out to find the same bunker. When Danny saw Archie, he said that his teeth were broken. Now they are very much increased, meaning clearly if they stay on this silent, they may be safe. But if they go out, they can know there. The 2 of them, as they were looking for the sun, saw the view of the city that had engulfed the entire United States of America, and it was happening because the whole machine was on top of the device. Sonic bombs are going out of control, and they're going to explode on their own. The days are not far off when 1,000 US nuclear missiles will explode on their own. Who hid in the same house where she was made, inside of which was everything that a man could live in his future life. Everything seemed to be now that these people would find her and stay there safe. But the question remains as to how long this story ends. With which this story is the same. How do you feel about the story? We will definitely tell you by commenting in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.